Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bug Discussions podcast, the channel, man. Yo, whatever you want to call it, it is the man J Coop here, back for another episode of J Coop's Clips. And then this episode, man, we got to go ahead and talk about the streaking Los Angeles Clippers, who are currently on a 3-game win streak and have won 6 of the last 7 games they have played. And yeah, man, yesterday they just came off a very, very huge comeback, coming back down from 26 points against the Cleveland Cavaliers to win this game by 2, 120 to 118. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the last 3 games that the Clippers have played, since it has been a minute since I've hopped on here. So yeah, man, without further ado, man, let's get straight into it. Now, for the first game the Clippers won in this 3-game win streak was actually against the defending NBA champions in the Denver Nuggets, man. This was a very, very entertaining game, but I will say, man, the Clippers, they actually went down pretty big in the first half and also the first quarter, man. I think it was like an 18-point lead for the Denver Nuggets in the first quarter. So in this game, man, they already kind of set themselves up for failure, having to fight back in this game, which they ended up doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they came back down from 18 in a game against the Denver Nuggets without no Jamal Murray and also no Kawhi Leonard. So to be fair, I guess there really wasn't too much to take away from this game. But, you know, for me personally, who's been watching this Clippers team over the past month and a half struggle, this was definitely the type of win that they had to get, you know what I'm saying, against arguably probably the best team in the league, but also the Western Conference, you know what I'm saying? So the Clippers went ahead and did their thing, and Paul George led the way for this team with 28 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists to lead the Clippers over the Denver Nuggets. Also, James Harden had an alright game, even though he was pretty inefficient, at least in the first half. I think he missed like his first 3 or 4 shots, but you know, he still ended up contributing just a little bit, or at least enough to win this game by 2 points against the Denver Nuggets, man. He had 20 points, 6 rebounds with 8 assists. And yeah, man, this was just a really well game from the Clippers, in my opinion. Like, this was probably one of the better wins that they have had all season. And the reason for that is because the Clippers have looked pretty terrible when Kawhi Leonard sits a game. So the fact they're able to beat one of the best teams in the league, even without Jamal Murray, just shows you this team still has enough to compete. You know what I'm saying? They still have enough, but most of the time when it comes to this Clippers team, it's really all about effort. You know what I'm saying? So this was a very good win for the Clippers, beating the Denver Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? Especially considering the fact that they lost against the Sacramento Kings without Kawhi Leonard by a pretty substantial amount. You know what I'm saying? So this was a good bounce back game for the Los Angeles Clippers. And for the second team they did beat in this 3-game win streak, honestly, I'm not going to spend too much time on this game because it is the tanking Utah Jazz, who really just have, I mean, that's pretty much it. They've been tanking. They haven't been playing guys like Larry Markkinen. You know what I'm saying? Colin Sexton was probably the most, you know, recognizable player that played in this game for the Utah Jazz. The Clippers ended up winning 131 to 102, and they were pretty much up, you know, about 30 pretty much the whole game. You know what I'm saying? So there really isn't too much to take away from this game. The starters really didn't even play in the fourth quarter, at least the last 8 minutes in the fourth quarter. It was a really just a complete team effort. I'm going to go down here and read the stat lines. I believe there was 8 players. Actually, hold on, let me just count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's 8 players that had double figures in this game against Utah Jazz. Paul George with 14. You had Zubac with 12. Harden with 13. You had Terrence Mann, who was the leading scorer for the Clippers in this Utah Jazz game, with 19 points. You had Norman Powell with 18, Russell Westbrook with 17. So, yeah, man, it was just one of those freebie type games where the Clippers had to take care of business, even without Kawhi Leonard. Because if they lost this game, even without Kawhi Leonard, bro, I would have been sounding the alarm bells like a motherfucker. You hear me? Because, bro, we've had some pretty, like, bad losses this season. Like, one of the losses I'm thinking about in my head was when the Clippers, fully healthy, keep in mind, with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and James Harden, lost to the Denver Nuggets without Jamal Murray and also Nikola Jokic. It was really just a Reggie Jackson and DeAndre Jordan show. So, yeah, it could have been like one of those games, one of the worst losses of the season. But the Clippers came out, automatically put the foot on their throat, and that was pretty much the recipe for the whole game. So shout out to the Clippers for getting this easy dub. We do play the Utah Jazz for the second to last game before the season ends. So hopefully we can get another freebie, you know what I'm saying, another just good win, you know what I'm saying, to end out the regular season, because we are still fighting for a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. So yeah, man, that would go a long way. The most recent game that the Clippers have won, in my personal opinion, was probably one of the better wins all season, even without Kawhi Leonard, because like you guys just heard me say in that Denver Nuggets game, is that the Clippers really have not been good at winning games when Kawhi Leonard sits down. But they ended up pulling out another very clutch win against the Cleveland Cavaliers, like I mentioned, coming back down from 26 points. The Clippers were down 59-80 at the half, and so they had a lot of work cut out for them, you know what I'm saying, in the second half. But hey, man, they stepped up and they really did their thing, man. They only allowed the Cleveland Cavaliers to score 38 points in the second half completely. They scored 18 points in the third quarter, and then they only scored 20 points in the fourth quarter, you know what I'm saying, after scoring 40 points in the first and 40 points in the second quarter, you know what I'm saying? So they had 80 points going into the half. You know what I'm saying? So we had our work cut out for us, you know what I'm saying? But that's exactly what the Clippers did, man. They fought back in that second half. I really would not have been surprised if Tyronn Lue decided to pull these guys out, you know, midway through the third quarter to try to you know, rest these guys, because we do have the playoffs coming up. So I thought this, you know, going into the second half, I really thought this game was going to be a throwaway. I thought they were just going to forfeit, throw in the red flag, but no, the Clippers kept fighting in this game, and they ended up coming back from 26 points, man. I think it was the third largest comeback in Clippers history, so that's really something you really like to see, you know what I'm saying? But to lead this game, man, Paul George led the way for the Clippers in this game, man. He had 39 points with 7 assists and 11 rebounds in this game. I believe it was his season high in rebounds too. So this was just like an overall complete game that you love to see for the Clippers. Obviously, you would like to see them not go down by 26 points in the first half, in the third quarter, excuse me, as well. But they still ended up pulling this game out. So that's really what you love to see, you know what I'm saying? So Paul George was the lead scorer for the Clippers, man. 39 points, you know what I'm saying, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Really had a spectacular game, but James Harden was right there behind him with 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Zubac and Terrence Mann both had 14 apiece. You know what I'm saying? Zubac with a double-double. He had 11 and 14. So he was hooping for us as well, especially going against those Twin Towers and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. That's really one of the reasons I was surprised we won this game, because as many of you guys know that probably watch the channel or just fans of the Clippers tend to struggle with big teams, big bodies inside, and we actually lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers earlier this season, not by a substantial amount, but we still lost to them, and the reason that was because Evan Mobley and Jared Allen were big X factors in that game, you know what I'm saying? The Clippers already don't have that much size, so when you have two really good bigs and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley out there making things harder on the Clippers, that's exactly what it does, it's just make things harder. But that really did not matter in this game, man, because the Clippers ended up, you know, handling business, taking care of business. And, hey, man, my dude Paul George had a game-winning shot. He was, doing his little in and out, you know what I'm saying, trying to get around a defender with Evan Mobley guarding him, which was already a mistake on the Cavs side of things. There's no I love Evan Mobley, hella defensive player, but he should not be guarding a guy like Paul George with as deep as a bag as he got, you know what I'm saying, because he was doing his little tweeners in between the leg, and then he was acting like he was about to go past him, then hit a little step back to the right, and then boom, just made that mid-range, you know what I'm saying, made Evan Mobley fall, and then Jared Allen even fell on top of him, so it looked like he crossed two dudes up, you know what I'm saying? So it was just one hell of a highlight Paul George had to close out that game. And I can't forget, man, he had one of the best defensive possessions he's had all year, when he blocked Darius Garland going to the rim. It looked like he's about to get an easy bucket, you know what I'm saying, at the rim, but no, Paul George just said, hell no, you ain't doing that shit today in the Staples Center, you feel me, or in the Crypto.com, whatever the hell it's called. But anyway, man, the Clippers pulled this game out. They handled business, winning 120-118 against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have really not been looking too hot as of recently, you know what I'm saying? I think it's been since the All-Star break, the Cleveland Cavaliers have really not been playing up to their par, and a lot of that is due to Donovan Mitchell missing games due to his knee and also getting a nasal fracture. So shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. Really good team I like over there, you know what I'm saying? But hey, man, my Clippers ended up getting this dub, which is all that it's about, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, I can't really be too any more pleased with the Clippers as of recently. Obviously, there's some games before that you would like them to win, like the Sacramento Kings game where we got smacked by 14. And, yeah, man, so Hey, I just feel like I can't really say much more else besides the Clippers are trending in the right direction, especially going into the playoffs. So there's really not much more you could ask for, but it's not over. We got 4 games until the playoffs are here, 2 against the Phoenix Suns, and then we got a game against the Rockets and also the Utah Jazz. So hopefully we can at least win those last 2 games. But the Clippers, even if we do lose these 2 games against the Phoenix Suns, we already split the season series because we whooped their ass a couple months ago. So yeah, man. But yeah, man, that pretty much does wrap up this video. If you guys found it useful, informational, you just found it entertaining in any type of way, make sure you hit it with a thumbs up. It really does help us over here at the Bucket Discussions podcast. And make sure you guys stay tuned because as you guys see, me and my homie Taj, we got more, content lined up. My man's doing music reactions, football reactions. He just does a little bit of everything. Me, I'm not gonna lie, I do a little bit more basketball content. That's really what I stick with. It's what I'm comfortable with. But yeah, man, I really do appreciate you guys tapping into this video. But until next time, man, peace out.
In the jungle like I'm Conan, kind of with both hands. Switch the flow like it was broken. I'm on the road, man, making plays just like DeRozan. I shoot my shot, and that shit wetter than the ocean. I brag a lot, but with the wind and come the boast in. I made a lot from them apartments that I sold, and he ain't make it up to college. So them streets where he enrolled in. I know I'm a scholar from the moments that I was exposed in.